Hello and welcome to day 2 of MyACT. Today we are receiving the entire, part of the IAA crew live from the Palais. So Isa, who's there?
We have Dagmara Szulce from IAA Global, Thomas Kolster from IAA Global Sustainability Council, Hugo de Almeida from IAA Brazil, Rob Haigh from IAA Sustainable Council also, and Pascal Cübb from IAA France. So the whole IAA crew is around the table today. So I'm going to start with you, Dag. You joined the IAA Global 7 years ago. I think you did a lot of work. What was the biggest challenge? What did tell us about the IAA and what you did?
Thank you. Well, I was asked to join the IAA 7 years ago to come and relaunch the brand. The brand is 85 years old, and it was founded at the Harvard Club, yet the association was losing relevancy. So I was asked to come in and relaunch it completely. And what was intriguing about it, I looked into the archives, and back then, 85 years ago, we were playing a role of the global compass. And given what was happening in the industry, and the industry transforming faster than ever, I thought there was a big opportunity to relaunch it and reposition IAA as the global compass once again. So we worked with the whole team to come up with a new positioning, new value proposition, and new brand identity, new portfolio of products to really serve the industry in a completely new way, in a way that invites all of the sectors of the industry to join. So it's not just brands, it's agencies, media, platforms, the academia working together to really educate the world. What does it take today to build the highest value brands in the world?
So tell us, so who do you have at the IAA? What are the brands or what the members? Who are the members? It's different the sector. You just said it. Tell us about this. And also, it's a global, what does global mean?
Well, we felt like there was really an opportunity to have one global association that welcomes all of the sectors of the industry to work together and present across our portfolio of conferences knowledge, the latest knowledge about what does it take today to build highest value brands. Our global board was recreated from evolved, not entirely, but evolved to make sure that we include all of the sectors to be represented on the global board. And as a part of this, we started to rebuild the global network. So in some cases, we kept the existing teams. In other cases, we introduced new teams to relaunch certain chapters around the world. And 30 years ago, we used to have 100 chapters around the world. We are at 40 right now. So the vision is in the next 15 years to get us back to 100.
So is it important for you to be here at the Cannes Lions where the whole industry is meeting? And I think you are strengthening the place of the IAA here.
100%. I mean, this is the greatest creative event around the world. This is where the industry really comes together. So it's critical for us to be here because our members are here. So we have been building a portfolio of products and for leadership initiatives to make sure that our members can collaborate, can come together and align behind the values that we have created for the industry.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to talk to Thomas and ask Thomas, you've been in this field, in the sustainability field since a long time. You launched in 2010 Goodvertising. How do you see the progress in the ad land about these subjects?
I think the grey hair is a testament to that, right? I think a lot has changed. I think sustainability is being on a roller coaster ride. I think there's one step forward and then 2 steps backwards. So a lot of the enthusiasm and support that we saw in the early days of the sustainability movement, obviously now we are, I think, faced with a bit of a standstill. There's always like, what is the next big thing in the industry? Everybody talks about AI. I think restructuring, reorganization is taking up a lot of time, and it feels like the sustainability agenda is being pushed down a little bit again. Also, we see a lot of legislation coming in right now, which sort of pushes a lot of these conversations into a compliance space rather than being about brand value, building some of the most amazing brands in this world, thinking about innovation, engaging consumers, creating consumer shifts. So I'm not very optimistic at the moment, and obviously when we have the UN General Secretary, Antonio Guterres, saying, okay, to almost riff the good old AC/DC classic, highway to hell, we're on a highway to climate hell. I think our industry needs to come together and act and not just react.
Agreed. And so why, with all this, why did you decide to join and create the Sustainability Council at the IAA?
I think the council represents an opportunity to collaborate. I think, unfortunately, in the sustainability space, there's been a lot of, single efforts from across different industries. And I think when it comes to sustainability, we're not competitors, we are colleagues. And I think there's so many opportunities for us to work together on the Sustainable Development Goal 17 is about collaboration. I think the IAA's council's mission is to serve as that compass, to work together, to cross-pollinate, to bring different parties together. And so I'm quite excited about that opportunity to be a meeting point, a compass for the industry. So I think for those of you who are tuning in today, there's really an opportunity to reach out if you want to know more about the work in the IAA Council, if you want to support the work that we're doing. I think this is so important, and we're also very thankful to Ken Lyons for giving us a hub, a meeting place this year where we can discuss sustainability, and there's a couple of interesting innovators in the space that all of you can come and meet here in just outside the Dépoussé.
Thank you, Thomas. Publicizing the act responsible whole. Hugo, so you were saying about different kind of work, different perspective. You come, Hugo, you're founder of BestEmotions, which is a production company. You work in production. What's your opinion on how this is moving into sustainability?
Yeah, it's I think even a greater challenge than sustainability as a whole for a company. I think we need to bring that event some transparency, right? For instance, just small numbers on a standard event, like a 5-day event with 20,000 people. We're talking about almost 200 tons of trash, of waste. And this means, and now that we're going to the Olympics here in France, it means like having 15, 16 Olympic swimming pools full of trash. So visually, this is what we're doing, right? And this is a standard, not Ken Lyons, which is, I will say, 5-10 times more than this. On a CO2, just on transportation of the people, we're talking about almost 500 CO2 consumption by cars a full year. So this is visually an impact of events. But I think events, it's more than needed. I think events are critical to make an action, to make a move, to really have these discussions, have this integration. So I think events are critical. What we need to bring to the table is not only transparency on informing the impact, because still there is no efficiency, 100% efficiency, but also work towards that. Through the offset, and needs to be a really well done offset, through a lot of new technologies out there. Green tech is amazing on renewals, and on clean tech also for trash composting. So I think all of that could be integrated. Education moments, for instance, definitely this will be a moment for educate consumers on their own footprint, on how they can do things, and how companies can do things, right? So this is moments where events can really update on that and bring a lot of those. So artificial intelligence will help automate all that, to bring all that much easier mood, but still on a process. It was on the right process, but still slow.
So you are also, we said it, co-president of IAA Brazil.
Yes.
Tell us, what. So I guess you will answer a little bit the question of meeting the two, making a connection between production and Adland, but how also can sustainability experts join the conversation, do that bridge,
It's, by the way, one of the reasons why I entered also on the Sustainability Council and been so passionate about this sector is the power that this sector has, right? For instance, in Cannes Lions, we're talking about, I would say, over 80% of brands are represented here, directly or indirectly. So that means that 80% of all brands in the world can be changed or can be tuned with this ecosystem here. So it's extremely powerful to have this. And so I think it's critical, this sector, because, and agencies are even more critical than brands sometimes, because agencies sometimes have the more impact on the outcome for brands than the brand itself. And the challenge is sometimes agencies are not skilled enough to respond to the briefings of the brands. So this is something that we really need to work on, is how can we educate, how can we train, how can we change this segment to build that pathway, right? But it's so many angles that this can work, right, on sustainability. Even on a standard thing, which is content, right, which is so critical nowadays. Imagine YouTube or social media or even Netflix or Disney Plus to adjust their algorithm on the things you see, right? Just that. That will be perfectly changed and a very fast change we can deliver to all the consuming of content. And with AI, even better, because nowadays you can personalize by each single person to engage into that. So that's a few examples of how we can really, make a change, and a fast change, because we really are fast.
Well, talking about brands, next is Rob Haigh. So you are Head of Strategy and Sustainability at Brand Finance. So that's interesting. Brand Finance evaluate brands. So you're going to tell us a little bit about what Brand Finance is doing. But my first question is it common to have a head of sustainability as such a that kind of company?
Well, I mean, I haven't met that many myself, so I don't know whether that's because I'm antisocial or because there aren't many. But yeah, it does seem relatively unusual for kind of small and medium-sized, particularly agencies, to focus on it, despite the fact that it's such an important driver for their clients. It's something that every agency is understandably now starting to focus on and advising their clients on. But I think it's important that it's embedded within the agency as well, because how can you talk about it authoritatively if you don't really have the knowledge and you don't dedicate the time and you don't kind of take the actions within your own organization that you're maybe advising your clients to.
And so what do you do at Brand Finance? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, so Brand Finance as a whole is one of the leading firms in the world for the evaluation and valuation of brands. And we've been doing that for 25 years. And the main rationale for doing that is to connect marketing and finance so that advertisers, marketeers, etc., have a way of communicating with CFOs and CEOs so that they're taken seriously. And the way that we've done that is by placing a financial value on brands. What I do is to sort of extend that and make that the focus of its sustainability. So looking at the role that sustainability plays in driving the value of brands, and also looking at where brands have value at risk because there's a mismatch between their sustainability communications and the actual sustainability reality. And that's the focus of the index that we've worked on with the IAA and has been received so well here and in lots of other places too.
Yeah, so you did the first research. We just had a panel talking about the index. Tell us a little bit more. What are the findings of this index? So it's the IAA Global Sustainability Perception Index, so that's important. Tell us what did you find? And
yeah, there's a few key findings. So the role of sustainability varies a lot between sectors actually. So the what we call the driver score can be as low as sort of 3 or 4% up to about sort of 23 or 24%. But even if it is only say 3 or 4% and kind of a relatively lower order driver, when you look at the scale of the companies and the brands that are in those sectors, that actually amounts to a huge amount of value. So basically, regardless of what sector you're in, sustainability has to be a really key thing that you're looking at because there is just simply so much value on the table, and you could be losing customers or failing to win customers by not managing your sustainability perceptions carefully. Even individual brands can have hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars that are tied to their sustainability perceptions, and then they can similarly have very large sums that are at stake if they're not communicating about sustainability in the right way. They're losing out on that opportunity, and also value at risk if they're kind of overclaiming.
Well, that's deep and interesting findings. So you just had a panel, and we will share it also on our post. A very interesting conversation.
And now I'm going to turn to Pascal. So Pascal Cübb, you are a producer. You've been in Cannes forever. You do a lot of things. You produced this TV show, MyACT, for us, because you've been a incredible ambassador of ACT Responsible since forever. And you've decided, well, first of all, what are you doing in Cannes this year? And
as you tell me, yes, I am a producer. I produce this kind of TV show during the week here in the Palais with you. I also produce La French Connection. It's a new place, private place for the French community, but open to everybody. And also I is partner of this place, but Havas, Publicis, lots of French brands really famous in on the advertising industry. I produce lots of content on La Croisette in Cannes for different brands during the week, and for you too, on the RTL Beach, on the different place. So a little bit busy.
Yeah, so you just came in quickly.
Yeah. And after the Olympic flame, that's the problem.
You were running the other way.
Yeah.
And so you decided to relaunch the IAA France a couple of years ago, or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah. So why did you decide this? And
it's your fault. It's your fault.
it's my fault.
Because of you.
No.
Because of you, because of Dagmara. I can't resist to the girl. No, seriously. Because since a long time I produce event and content in this industry. And to me there is two different way to change the thing of it's really radical and you stay outside. Or it's really efficient and you go in. As Dagmara proposed me and with your collaboration to go in. And I have a big network in France. Maybe I can use these networks to move and to change the thing. Because I really believe this industry gets incredible power to impact, act to impact. And with creativity, with technology, brands and media, if we are working together in a good way, we can change really the world or to make a better world. And that's the reason why I do that, because, you know, I'm a utopist. I want to change the world. That's the reason why I'm here anyway.
Well, that's a big mission. I think, wow, big mission. Well, really? We're going to try to change the things that we can change. In Cannes and in our industry as fast as we can, because I think urgency is there. Thank you all for joining this second day of MyACT, and have a beautiful and lovely and crazy and powerful week. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.